On August 11, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese stood at a press conference in Canberra, and he announced that Australia will recognise a Palestinian state at the upcoming UN General Assembly in September, joining countries like the UK, France and Canada. He framed it as a constructive step toward reviving the two-state solution, Israel and Palestine, living peacefully side by side. And he made that recognition contingent on pre-existing commitments. The Palestinian Authority undertook to exclude Hamas from governance, demilitarise Gaza, hold elections, and end the so-called pay-for-slay payments to terrorist families. Sounds good, right? Like a step towards peace? After all, isn't that what we all want? Well, here's the thing. Almost nobody's happy. Not the Jewish community here in Australia, and not even the pro-Palestinian movement. So why? Well, for Jewish Australians, the timing alone is galling. Why now? Almost 2 years since the October 7 massacre, which saw the rapes, beheadings and the murder of 1,200 and the abduction of 251 hostages, 50 of whom still remain in Hamas tunnels. Even Hamas itself has praised the courage of the Albanese government and other Western countries for recognising a Palestinian state, saying it's vindicated its October 7 murder rampage and its commitment to armed resistance. When Hamas, a barbaric, proscribed terrorist organisation, is applauding Australia, a Western liberal democracy on the other side of the world, we have to ask, who exactly are we aligning ourselves with? And is this really the reflection of the values we claim to stand for? Closer to home, many see it as not only rewarding terror, but also validating months of increasingly aggressive, often anti-Semitic protests here on our streets. They remember every peace offer the Palestinian leadership has walked away from in 2000, 2001, 2008. They know the Palestinian Authority still teaches its children to hate Israel, still refuses to recognise it as the Jewish state. So why pretend it's suddenly a credible partner for peace? But here's the twist. The loudest pro-Palestinian activists aren't celebrating either. For some, it's a symbolic move that distracts from what they really want. Sanctions, ending all military trade, cutting diplomatic ties. As AIPAN's Nasser Mashni puts it, this is a political fig leaf, not real action. And for others in the movement, it's worse than hollow. It's unacceptable. Why? Because it's tied to a two-state vision. They reject Israel's existence entirely. Their solution is one state, without Israel. For them, Albanese's language isn't progress, it's betrayal. So who's this recognition really for? To most casual observers, it just sounds like a good thing, recognising both peoples, supporting coexistence, ticking the humanitarian box. It plays well with the voters who want to feel compassionate without getting into the messy detail of whether it changes anything on the ground. And that's the problem. This isn't about outcomes. It's about optics. It's virtue signalling. It lets the government look constructive, compassionate, on the side of peace, bereft of the centuries of historical context and the complexity and nuance it encompasses, and without doing the hard, politically costly work that might actually advance the prospects of a real and lasting peace at all. So we have to ask, if symbolic recognition hasn't brought peace before, why would it now? And if Australia wants to help, we should focus on things that matter. Genuine reforms, direct negotiations, the return of the hostages, addressing the real barriers to peace. And is recognition not actually counterproductive to hopes of genuine peace? Because as long as we're giving the Palestinians what they want, they have no incentive to change their destructive behaviour. Because foreign policy shouldn't be about making us feel good from 14,000 kilometres away. It should be about making a real difference, one that actually changes outcomes on the ground for the better.